Welcome, welcome. We are currently doing a... Oh no, why is this so not clear? We're currently doing a causes of the American Revolution review. Alright. I'm sorry that's really kind of off-center. My bee, I didn't mean to, but it happens. Okay. Causes of the American Revolution. I'm sorry, that is an R. Ooh, that looks even weirder. Okay, so one of the very early causes is going to be the French and Indian War. So I'm going to write French and Indian War and Indian War. Now, the reason the French and Indian War will be one of our causes... Holy moly, why isn't this... Sorry, guys, I really don't feel like this is focusing right. So I'm going to give it a second. And is that better? Oh, this world's better. Okay, the French and Indian War. Now, there's a few reasons why I'm going to call this a cause. I'm going to go like this. Here are the reasons why, and that's why I'm making this kind of long and ridiculous. 1. England gets in debt. England is in debt. You know, military stuff, it's not free. It's not like it just, comes out of thin air and, ooh, that's wonderful. So they owe money. England is in debt. Another thing is Washington gains experience. Gains, and I'm just going to write EXP, experience. He gains experience as a commander. And then, number 3, actually I'm going to write as a commander. As a commander. And then finally, Americans feel more American. They feel less like, just regular British colonists. They really do feel more, they don't feel like a British colonist anymore. They feel like Americans. They kind of feel like their own entity. Okay, so the war ends with the Treaty of Paris. Treaty of Paris, 1763. End of war. Okay? Treaty of Paris, 1763. Now here's the deal. Because of the Treaty of Paris of 1763, England got all kinds of new land. This new land is going to lead, so I'm going to write new land, it leads the king to pass something called the Proclamation. I'm just going to call it the Proclamation of 1763. Now what this said was that the colonists cannot cross the Appalachian Mountains. They cannot cross the Appalachian Mountains. Now, just because it says they cannot cross the Appalachian Mountains doesn't mean that all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, we didn't even want to cross them, we don't even like them. Yeah, that doesn't happen. What will happen is that colonists try to sneak over anyway. So because they're trying to sneak over, okay, so colonists are trying to sneak. That's an N, so it's not colonists are trying to chic, it's colonists are trying to sneak. Past the past Appalachian Mountains. So the king says, okay, if you're going to try to be sneaky, I'm just going to have to, lay down the law. And so he passes something called the Quartering Act. So this leads to the Quartering Act. Now, the Quartering Act was where soldiers could be in people's homes. If you're in my class, we said, think quarter, like the headquarters, like the headquarters of something, or HQ. Headquarters, which would be kind of like home base. Headquarters is like home base, home, soldiers can stay in people's homes. And guys, if they have to stay in these people's homes, they have to be nice to, like, they don't have to be nice, but they're going to stay in these people's homes. They're going to eat their food. Who knows how much they're going to eat? Knows how much your family gets to eat after that? It's very, very unfortunate. So the Quartering Act happens, and then because of this debt, because they're in debt, so I'm going to draw like draw a little dotted line here. Boop, boop, boop. A little line of connection. Little line of connection to right here, because the next thing that's going to happen is the Stamp Act. And this is mainly because the colonists need, or not the colonists, England needs money. And so they're going to pass the Stamp Act as an attempt to get that money. And it's a tax on all paper products. On all paper products. However, this is going to anger colonists greatly, and colonists are going to boycott. So boycott. They get angry. And all of that leads to the creation of Sons of Liberty. Sons of Liberty. And the Sons of Liberty, their basic goal was, they really wanted to break away from Britain. They were trying to change things, change problems they felt were happening with Britain. So Sons of Liberty, what do I want to say about them? Led by Samuel Adams. They fought British policy. Fought British policy. Okay, the Sons of Liberty, they fought British policy. Now, so the Sons of Liberty are getting everybody riled up. They're the ones, they're organized in boycotts and all this stuff. And one night in the streets of Boston, because they're mad about the Stamp Act, because they're mad about the Quartering Act, something is going to happen. They're riled up. There's a huge angry mob in the streets, and this mob starts kind of like harping on this group of, or starts kind of taunting this group of British soldiers. And what takes place next is going to be known as the Boston Massacre. 5 colonists die. Okay, now, 5 colonists, and I want you guys to think about, back in 7th grade, you learned about the Battle of Goliad. The Battle of Goliad, where, like, it's a massacre at Goliad. 400 died. Not to discount a single human life, but 5 colonists is not necessarily a massacre. The reason they call it this is because they're trying to spread propaganda. Propaganda. I don't know why I wrote it that way, but propaganda. They want people to see how awful the British are. So they're going to kind of spread what is, it's kind of like a lie. I mean, it's not really a lie because 5 colonists did die, but they show that picture by Paul Revere, the picture, and it's like, this sweet little, picture where, it just looks like a group of colonists, just hanging out, kicking back, and all of a sudden, whoa, the British, the redcoats come and just like fire on an unarmed crowd, when in reality, the people of Boston were like taunting them and not being nice, and it was not a happy day. So anger starts to rise. Anger rises. And then, whoa, England does something that was really just not a wise choice. They impose another tax because they need money. And the British use a lot of this. They pass the Tea Act. And the Tea Act was really just kind of a way for them to make money But B, it also gave one of their British tea companies a monopoly of all of the tea, so that kind of made people mad. So the Tea Act, shoo-ba-doop, shoo-ba-doop, causes people to boycott, and they are angry. And because of this, this will lead to what is now known as the Boston Tea Party. Tea Party. Okay, the Tea Party dumped tea into Boston Harbor. Okay, so they're dumping all this tea into Boston Harbor. Wow. So now, the British are mad. Like, I explained to my class, it'd be like, you know, if you're a girl and like you really didn't want to wear a dress and your mom made you wear one anyway, and then you went into your closet after she left your room and like cut up all your dresses, your mom would kind of like probably like come in your room and like would be at a loss of words. She'd be so angry with you. So that's kind of what we're looking at. That's the kind of anger we're talking about here. It's like, ooh, like they're super duper mad. So they passed something called the Intolerable Acts. Oh, ooh, sorry, that says intolerable. I'll X that out because I don't like the way that looks. Intolerable Acts. Now the Intolerable Acts do three things. They say they can't, no town meetings. They can't trust the colonists to get together. They also they're going to shut down Boston Harbor. Boston Harbor. And then they're going to place all of Boston under military rule. Now, because of this, the colonists are really starting to feel invaded. Because they feel invaded, they're going to begin to make preparations for war. They make preparations for war at the First Continental Congress. First Continental Congress. I'm sorry I'm using green so much. I've used it 3 times. I don't know why. First Continental Congress set up militias, which are just like little civilian armies. They set up militias. Then they set up their militias. Well, what do you know? Next thing that happens, there's a battle, the battles of Lexington and Concord. So they're prepared for war. Sorry. For war. Lexington and Concord. First battle of the American Revolution, known as the shot heard round the world. And mainly, y'all, the reason it's known as the shot heard round the world is because it will inspire revolutions to come. It inspires revolutions all over. And it inspires revolutions of the future. Like the French Revolution, the French Revolution is very much directly because of the American Revolution. That is really all I have for you guys. Make sure you study this. I know it's kind of a lot. I tried to make it as friendly as I could. Copy this down. Be sure that you took notes with me. If you didn't, watch it again. Take notes with me. Happy studying!